All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Matt Madness Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host for tonight, Alo Aaron Lloyd. I'm joined by Mr. Eric Trembicki. I guess he's a EVP now. How you doing, baby?
A little more studious. What's going on, man? Just
How
happy
you
to
doing?
be here. Doing good.
So, as always, guys, subscribe on all podcast platforms, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and Stitcher. And also, if you're watching it with us, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, thumbs up, turn on your post notifications, comment, and just leave something silly down there, like you like Eric's glasses this week.
That, crack a beer, laugh with us, enjoy the ride.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of laughs. All right, so we took a week off. We had a lot go. We had a lot happen in the past couple of weeks. We had AEW Revolution this past weekend. We had the Elimination Chamber the weekend prior. So before we get into Revolution, just give me your thoughts on Elimination Chamber and anything that you watched or done in the last week and a half.
I mean, Elimination Chamber is just it was a good show, but I'm not going to necessarily give it a rating because it was so many weeks ago. But overall, I would say it was kind of WWE getting back to like a filler show. It was very predictable, but not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. Aside from that, like I've been saying, every time we've been back on the show, I just, watching the regular weekly product, that's been pretty much all I've been doing, at least as far as Raw. SmackDown, I'm usually always a day behind, but nothing really out of the ordinary wrestling wise have I been watching. Just haven't really had the free time for anything outside of that besides the weekly Dynamite and the weekly Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, so for me, I guess for me, because I'm always home where I work, I guess you could say I had like an eventful week and a half. So I joined my friend Sean's podcast last Saturday night, stayed up past my bedtime. I joined his podcast, The Geeks, that's with a Z. I'll post the link in the description as well, and I'll post something on the Matt Madness socials. And they had their 10-year anniversary episode. I've listened to the guys for 9 years. And they had it open to the listeners to come on, so I joined the entire show. It was fun. A lot of times, it's funny because we talked about this for years and joke about it that like when you listen to a podcast, like you're listening to your friends. It's like I know you've seen the meme, like the girl, I think the person in the bed or in the corner say I'm hanging with my friends and they're listening to a podcast. Yeah. So I've known Sean for years since Connection. Because that's how I met him. Because he's in sneakers, he's also an artist. So I never had a conversation verbally with his two other co-hosts, Steve and Alil. But you wouldn't be able to tell because I've listened to him for 9 years. So it's like, we're friends. We're friends. So it was really a lot of fun. There's some cool people to jump in. We had an appearance from the Joker and Freddy Krueger. Yes, I'm the Joker and Freddy Krueger. I'm not joking. I will post that part because that was really fun to actually watch. But I did join that show. It's a pop culture show. Talked about anything pop culture, movies, superheroes. We had.
How long did the show go?
It was about maybe a little over 2 hours.
Okay.
I was there from the beginning because I was on time, so I was the first one in the chat on the stream. And we talked about.
Wow, you weren't even on time tonight.
I was earlier than expected though. Well,
that ain't saying much.
I was okay. So they said 11. I think I got like an 11:04.
Oh my goodness.
So I did make it. The show did start without me, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, we talked about stuff we watched, just like as far as like Marvel or anything in general. They review movies, comics. They have a Star Wars show called Star Geeks every Thursday because Sean is heavy into Star Wars. I'll post all the links. He has like a Star Wars room.
I gotta check that out.
In his basement.
Still in Delaware.
Yeah, he lives in Delaware. Mm-hmm. He lives in Delaware. So he like Star Wars room. They have a Star Wars show. They have a new show they actually started about. I forget the name of it. So I apologize to you guys, but they're going to go back in time and review like older movies and stuff like that. But yeah, we discussed the stuff we collect, stuff we watched, the way our collecting, because they're all collectors as well. So we enjoyed it. We did that, and I had a great time. Also, I did watch WWE Rivals, Triple H and The Rock. I've said this a bunch of times. I think Triple H and The Rock are each other's best rival because they grew up together to an extent. I think you'll understand what I'm saying as far as like
they got the best timetable of like on how far back they go. Plus they feuded over several different titles, over different looks. I can understand somebody trying to argue that, but it's an easy argument or why that is the case.
Yeah, because they were definitely on the same level. Came in maybe a year or so, maybe a year or whatever apart. Also, the battles, IC title, faction. Rock goes to the main event. Triple H goes to the main event. Headline WrestleMania together. The matches after that. It's also a feud that kind of goes forgotten at this point because I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, Austin's Rock's biggest foe," because that was probably like the biggest rivalry for WWE as business wise, but as far as an actual rival, it was Triple H, in my opinion. Listen, I know people will argue and say Stone Cold, but go ahead.
No, I get that sentiment. I guess like the reason why I would argue that you're right, that they're each other's best, is because they're exact same. They're each other's best. Where like the Rock and Austin, yeah, that's an iconic feud, but so many people want to argue that McMahon was Austin's greatest rival. And then with Hunter, a lot of people will say that like Mick Foley was his greatest rival. But a lot of people aren't going to say Triple H was Foley's greatest rival. Like he had others. So, or like, The Rock was a better. But like when you look at the totality of it all and you look at it from, 10 feet above and look down, I mean, Rock's first time winning the IC title was from Hunter, right? When he, when he was Rocky Maivia. Then they exchange the title when they're both in factions. Then they have the feuds for the world title, and that spans over years. It's really just a shame we didn't get more. We got a little like a teaser on a Monday Night Raw, like during the Rock's undisputed title reign. And then we did get some triple threats with like Brock Lesnar at like Insurrection, but it is a little bit of a shame we didn't get more of that towards the last year or two of, I guess, his final year run. And then it really sucks we didn't get nothing in 2015, 2016 with them. But in the totality, when you look at it, it's a beautiful argument to just say, like, you look at what they've done. Obviously, they're each other's greatest rival.
Yeah, and they both like my one nitpick with that show, and I understand why because he's so busy. It's all the old stock footage for like the interviews. It's always mainly of Rock, and that's the one thing that bothers me. But I understand completely. They also talked about
you figure that them, but they've been advertising because this is a brand new episode, right?
Yeah, this was the first. This was the first episode of the new season,
and they've been previewing this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But you would just think with him back around now that maybe they would try to edit that and get some of that stuff in or get some more modern takes from him. But yeah, that is something that is always annoying. I like when they insert like the Rock's take on stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, oh wait, this is coming out in 2021, but this clip is clearly from 2012.
Yeah,
so
yeah, and they did talk about 2000 because I've always said that 2000 was my favorite year of wrestling, and they put over their 2000 run. Rock also, even though it's old stock footage, Rock says his matches with Triple H in 2000 were the best matches of his career. And as always, they put over my favorite match of all time, Backlash 2000. Overbooking, storytelling at its finest. And we'll see it again in a few weeks at WrestleMania. Storytelling at its finest. That's all I watch other than Elimination Chamber. I did like Elimination Chamber. It was mid, but I did enjoy it. Tiffany Stratton was a star. Tiffy time was
Tiffy's been a star. As much as everybody keeps talking about her, like I keep thinking of that multi-women's ladder match in NXT when Indy Hartwell won the title. She showed her ass that night, and I was like, this girl new, and she's doing all these crazy spots with the ladder. I'm like, she's a star. She's a star. Knew it since then.
Yeah, even when they were like, I think I saw a report saying she was a bit shocked that they were pissed that she got eliminated so early because the crowd was behind her from the jump. So
plus for like somebody that was over to be eliminating her, it wasn't like it was a heel or somebody getting forced. Like it's a true babyface eliminating her.
Yeah, she had a great showing. Other than that, and like what was I talking? Nia and Rhea, it wasn't a clinic or anything, but I thought the match was booked perfectly. For what they were portraying, as far as Rhea finally having somebody bigger and stronger than her, Nia dominated 99.9% of that match, and Rhea pulling it out the end out of nowhere. I thought they portrayed that 100% perfectly. And I really did enjoy that match a lot. And then, of course, what we're about to talk about, AEW Revolution. So give me your thoughts on AEW Revolution 2024.
I got to give it a high slobber knocker. It was overall a really good show. I feel like they really placed the card very well. Like they had good undercard matches for the pre-show. They started it with a good opener with Christian Cage, who has unbelievable heat. Garcia being crazy over. You work that into, whether it be the Triple Crown match, and that was a hell of a match. And then you get a title change, which I'm always a big fan of on the show. Roderick Strong, who we all know he can go, and I like Orange. I know he's a day one AEW guy, but it's a big win for Roddy, because if you look at between the two title reigns, Orange Cassidy has, I think, close to 50, if not more, defenses with that championship. So a lot of people haven't beat him for the belt. I think just Moxley, or maybe Ray Phoenix beat him in one of his rematches. But it's huge, good for him. That title needed a title change, so I'm happy with that. Overall, everything else, the triple threat match was good. I got to get to the main event because I had a hard time falling asleep after it. Sting showed his ass. I would think over delivered. The false finishes were amazing. I thought there was no chance they were going to retain. Old school WWE booking. Yeah, you go out with, you staring up at the lights. But it was really cool how that happened. I don't know why his sons aren't wrestlers. They're the size of it. They did nice little stinger splashes. I guess it was his younger son who did the Bash at the Beach gimmick, because I think Steven Jr. is his oldest, who did the Wolfpack gimmick. And I don't know if you had the chance to see, his son did a really nice, heartfelt Instagram post about his dad's career. It's a really good post. I'll tell you what, I think like Friday, like I got into a little bit of like a Sting bag looking at all this stuff because I saw it on a dirt sheet. So I looked it up. It's really good. And then like all three of his kids, his two sons, his daughter, his sister, his sister-in-law, and multiple wrestlers from FTR, Jericho, Big Show, DDP, and a lot of other guys that he's had influence on, and Darby Allin. They did this nice little recording, a compilation of like, clips of everyone leaving like a voicemail and just saying like what he's meant to the business, to them, their friendship, blah, 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 blah. They tried to get a Ric Flair to do one, but he ended up doing a 2-minute recording talking about himself. So his just got snipped out. But yeah, it was real good. And overall, say what you want to say about AEW, but you can't deny that they did not execute his run with them perfectly. Like, yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, if the guy had 30-something matches, yeah, was there a time or two I was like, yeah, how long is he going to keep doing this? But, we did get several TV matches. He did wrestle on every show, Rampage, Dynamite. He was on Collision. They were all multi-man matches, either tornado tags or bigger. But there was never one where you watch it and like, yeah, dude, he just should stop. Like, there was always a good spot. Hell of a career. Pretty cool to see him win another championship. Your thoughts?
So I'm being agreeant. I give it a high slobber knocker as well. My main nitpick was this. I thought that Takeshita and Ospreay should have opened the show, because that main event, I mean, not the main event, but the world title match, I thought the crowd was exhausted and fell flat. That's like my main nitpick of the show. If I could change anything, it would be that. I'm kind of glad they changed the Beat Your Meat match to an All-Star Scramble. I'm glad they did that, because I was like, what the fuck's this supposed to be? I understand the concept, but this name has got to go.
Name had to go. And then if the rumor's true, there were supposed to be like two guys that, I guess, it's funny. There were supposed to be two other bigger guys in it, and then they ended up, when they weren't cleared, they put more people in. But we all know I like AEW, but I hate when you announce something and then it's not really explained the change. Like it's explained in like the press conference, but it was announced on TV, and then the next TV show is the All-Star Scramble, and you don't explain what. Excuse me, don't explain why. I don't know,
Yeah, because when I started the show, I was like, well, is this the meat match? But then in terms of All-Star Scramble, I was like, okay, whatever. That sounds like Tony. But I did enjoy the show. Takeshita and Ospreay, excellent match. When I first saw this was happening, I was kind of like, but they're in the same stable.
Yeah.
I don't get why this is happening. But there's potential for this because I don't know what happened on Dynamite tonight, but you can tell that Ospreay is going to be forced out of the Callis family, and it's going to turn him into a star.
So sorry to cut you off. This is where it gets real interesting. So him and ROH television champion
was it Kyle Fletcher?
Kyle Fletcher.
Okay.
Kyle Fletcher, they had a match.
Yeah.
Kyle Fletcher's in the group. There was a match Ospreay couldn't be part of. Ospreay vouched for him and got him into the family. So at this point, I'm thinking like he is a huge star. He's now full-time AEW. Like he's not going to be able to stay a heel. They're going to have to turn him babyface. So I'm just figuring like he didn't beat Takeshita. He's going to beat his boy, and then they're going to jump him. Or then what are we going to see Hobbs next week? Well, they ended up having a match very similar to the match you watched on Sunday. Ospreay goes over. It was a great match. It also runtime. I think it ended at like 10:05, 10:07, and then Bryan Danielson's music came out. They were way past the runtime. So like literally like when he came and got in the ring and started like sizing him up, the little like AEW logos dropping in the corner. So I'm sure we're going to be going into that feud, and I don't know. Maybe the Don Callis family stays together. I don't really see how this is going to shake.
Yeah, when I saw what happened, when I saw Kyle Fletcher come out, and Don Callis had a good line on commentary that I did enjoy. He said that he said sometimes Jordan and Pippen have to fight. And I did pop for that line. But when it happened, and I saw Kyle Fletcher come out, like, okay, they're gonna turn Ospreay face going through this. So I was like, okay, I see where they're going here. So there's actually potential for that. I was disappointed with the women's title match because that's the match I was looking forward to the most. Fell a little flat for me. Christian, fucking awesome as always. And FTR and Moxley.
Time out. But all right, and this goes for the tag match too. But that women's title match, that Toni Storm's entrance.
Oh, I mean, well, you mean Mariah Storm?
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Either way, like
that was perfect.
You know they're bad when, and I mean bad in the right way. You know they're bad when you can have somebody play you and be looking just as good. Like
yes, I was like, my God, Gorilla. But
yeah, I popped because I was like, why is she doing this? Like, why is she going back to her old gimmick? And I was tricked. I'll go back to the main event for a second. When his son first came out in Surfer Sting, I said,
look just like him.
Shit. I said, holy shit, he did it. He did it. I screenshot my phone. I was like, oh my God, he did it. Because a lot of people did make the play. Like, what if one time he did Surfer Sting? What if one time, if this is his last match, this would be the time to do it? And I was like, holy shit, he did it. And then obviously got played. But I got played in 2 entrances in one show. I'm here for it.
Yeah, the FTR and Mox and Claudio, good match. When Mox does that wild shit, I just get I start to cringe and all that stuff. I was like, oh, like he was biting FTR's face. I was like, God, you got to be kidding me. What else did I enjoy? I'll just get to the main event. Fucking awesome. Match of the year candidate. Was it a clinic? Absolutely not. But the match was fucking awesome.
Barn burner.
Fucking awesome. If there's a way to retire somebody, that's it.
The argument is, is that not the greatest retirement match ever?
I think it might be recency bias, but as of right now, yes. In a month or two,
Sean's so here's the real thing. If Sean didn't have that tag match, I could see the argument, but he did have that tag match, so you got to go Sting.
Well, I'll put it this way. We knew this was a retirement match. HBK, there was a stipulation. This was a legit my last match. So you could say this was somewhat of a tribute. So this is how you do a tribute.
This was special.
His son's looking just like him. His son's actually getting involved in the match. I got a nitpick because Sting's out here burying younger talent, and they booked Sting way too strong in this match. By the way,
but that's how they booked him this whole run.
No, I know. I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm not that much of a mark. But that match was fucking awesome. The no seller was great. When he took that super kick and just pulled a pop, he did a Triple H and then it fall down, just popped back up. I thought it was awesome. Ricky Steamboat needs to keep wrestling because the way he sold that super kick was fantastic. By the Young Bucks. Darby Allin, insane.
Ricky Steamboat does not need to keep wrestling. He's going to hear this clip and he's going to book himself in a Match Mania weekend.
Darby Allin, insane. Insane. That was ridiculous. And I haven't given my thoughts on the EVP gimmick for the Young Bucks, but I think it's great. Even like a couple of weeks ago on
you saw the clip. You saw the clip from tonight.
I haven't. Well, yes, with Okada. Yes, I didn't listen to everything, but I did see the clip.
Here I got to bring you up to speed.
Okay.
They fined and kicked out Hangman and Kenny from the Elite. They said, Hangman, you hit officials. You're indefinitely suspended from the Elite, which that was indefinitely. So I could see him coming back since he is a babyface and being with, or since they're all heels. I could see him being in it. So then they say Kenny hasn't been around for months for no good reason. And your commentary is like, what? There's health reasons. So it's like, as in reference to your commitments to the Elite, you're fired. And then Okada comes out, lay it out Kingston, and they said, by the way, this is the newest member of the Elite. So the Elite in 2024 is Matthew, Nicholas, and Kazuchika. Who'd ever thought we'd hear that? That's really cool. Really cool.
That's awesome. Donovan's in the chat. What's up, Donovan? But back to like that shit was wild. Now Darby Allin, insane. The glass spot, like I was like, oh, like his back oozing, that was crazy.
What about the shards? Do you see this one chick in the front row, like wiping glass off her chest?
Yeah, and now they have a disclaimer at on Dynamite, pre-Dynamite, about what can possibly happen to you. But that was insane. That match was so much fun. Definitely a match of the year contender for me. I'm not sure where you have it, but it was fantastic.
Tell me a 2024 match better. I don't got it yet. If
neither do
it's probably something Gunther, Jey Uso related, but it's definitely the AEW match of the year, and we all know I love them.
Yeah, no doubt. So what was about to ask you? So this is what I'm going to ask you. I don't have many favorite Sting moments. I don't. One includes you when you thought he was going to be Rollins for the title and Night of Champions at one time. That was really cute. And of course, Ready to Rumble. He was excellent at Ready to Rumble. And also when he beat Jarrett for the title in TNA. I did enjoy that because I was watching TNA at the time. So your favorite Sting memories?
Man, well, it's I did not watch TNA, and I would say, and I won't have a specific detail. I'm gonna go the debut of the Crow character because I do remember seeing that. I would say, I guess almost anything he did with the Wolfpack, because again, that was something I remember my brothers flipping the channel and seeing that, and it was just a different edge because he was part of the NWO. I gotta go. Man, it's hard. There's gonna be stuff I'm gonna forget, but I really got to think about like in the moment, like what I saw live. Like that's obviously got to be my favorite stuff. His debut at Survivor Series, helping Ziggler, because who saw that coming? Like never. And then the Winter is Coming debut, and kind of leaving the cliffhanger if he was coming against Cody or what he was doing. And I mean, it's probably wrong to say, and just like you just said, recency bias. I mean, if he's going to have the greatest retirement match of all time, how do I not put that as my favorite Sting moment ever? I mean,
Yeah.
sitting here in March of 2024, that's my favorite Sting moment. You know, he was defending an AEW tag team championship, and then retaining it, and then going out. That's awesome. Aside from that, random this because it wasn't something I watched live, but if you remember, like a year pre-COVID, I did like start Nitro from episode 1 and rewatch it. Him and Luger winning the tag titles early Nitro years, and their run with it was some good stuff, good matches. But yeah, I definitely got to go with this retirement match. Kind of easy answer.
Yeah, this retirement match was definitely up there for me because this was a tribute, and that's how you do a tribute. So, anything else for AEW? You did talk about Okada, so I guess we'll get the real big business next week.
Yeah, we should predict that, and hopefully we'll review it next week, fresh after it happens. Outside of that, the opening theme was different for Dynamite. Pretty much everything in Dynamite, they used the WWE line, which I didn't love. They said it's a new first episode of a new season. I always hate that, but yeah, they went back to the tunnels. It wasn't the exact same stage, but it was a new stage, and then it had the left and right tunnels, TNA-esque. Which I love that look. Also, it's kind of a precursor to like heel turns, and or after someone does turn heel or baby, then you see them come out or leave or exit the different tunnel than where they came. So I do love that. That was cool. Everything felt a little different. Themes were different. But put a good show.
All right, so your prediction for next week's big business in Boston.
We see Mercedes Moné at some point in the show.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. I was hoping she came back home, but we'll see. And
I bet you do.
I'm gonna give it a chance. I am looking forward to her and Toni Storm because you have to assume that'll probably be her first feud in AEW.
I don't see her going after Julia Hart.
No, and one more thing about AEW, I think Swerve will be the next world champion. It's just I think it ended up being a double nothing.
I can see that. I wouldn't even be surprised really if I could see that happen. He's gonna win at some point this year for sure. He's crazy over. He opened the show tonight and pretty much defined that he's babyface. He kind of like apologized and said that like he lost tonight and it was karma for some of the evil things he's done. But yeah, guy's crazy over.
Yeah, because even in the match when Prince Nana gave him the crown, I believe he tossed it back down, and like throughout that match did a good way of telling the story of how him and Hangman they're not done yet, because there was a big emphasis on those two, and Joe kind of felt like the odd man out in that situation. So there's more to come with those two before Swerve can end up going to Joe. So next up, going back to WWE, we had The Rock. He gave Cody Rhodes an ultimatum in a bloodline. It'll be Bloodline rules with his counteroffer. If Rock and Roman win night 1 versus Cody and Seth, it's Bloodline rules, no disqualification, anything goes. And if Cody and Seth win, Cody will have the Bloodline banned from ringside. We talked about this a lot, speculated for weeks. It's pretty much about to be set in stone on Friday on SmackDown. Your thoughts on how we got here?
Do you mind going first?
Yeah, so it was a long ride because a lot of people at this point, they're impatient. They don't want to let stories pile out. They want all the answers right away. But as when you watch movies, you have to wait 2 hours for the conclusion that you know what's going to happen.
Or to get to that climax.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to that climax. But but yeah, so you have to be patient. And this is storytelling at its finest. So we talked about this at length for weeks. It's finally pretty much official. I'm happy we're getting it because I think it's a good consolation prize for people going to night 1 because you're not getting Seth and CM Punk. So you're going to get to see The Rock wrestle night one. There's still some things that are like shaky when it comes to this. But I thought The Rock cut an excellent promo on SmackDown. I thought he went further than I thought he would on national television.
Go smoke crack.
But I thought he did a good job. I thought he did a great job. Acknowledges Roman Reigns and gives Cody the counter offer. So I think it's good. I'm enjoying it. Heel Rock's been great. The fact that Solo almost broke character was amazing twice.
So with what you said, I agree, but I'm going to show that there's a small bit of people that can do the latter and enjoy the ride. I'm having a hard time commenting on this as far as like my opinion, my prediction, my thoughts. I absolutely love everything that has gone on with this. Again, in the grand scheme, since Cody eliminated CM Punk till now, looking at it from where we're at right now, I love everything that has happened. You give Cody, you were with me. I popped. How happy was I when he won? How pissed was I a week later when he says he's going to bow out? I hated The Rock. I was one of those psychos that commented on his page and said, chill the fuck out. Get out of my man's way.
Was it on the Moana trailer?
I don't know what it was. I think it was the Under Armour ad. But you could have called me a Cody crybaby. Then that awesome Vegas press conference on a random Thursday, that was great. That was one of the most entertaining things WWE's done in a long time. Everything we've been getting with Seth and Cody, two mega modern day wrestlers over as hell as a babyface. The reactions they're getting, where Chris from Suplex said the other day, he's like, I don't even need to see The Rock wrestle. I just want him to come out and talk. Like, he can stay there and just come out and talk once a month. I'm here for it. But I love that. Like, Cody, he doesn't even need to really have a match. Like, we're just going nuts for him. He's, dare I say, getting an almost damn near Austin-esque pop when he just comes out, whether it's just to make a save at the end of the show and and he's in his workout gear, and then in the beginning of the show he comes out in a suit. Massive pop either time. I am here just for the ride. The next 35 plus days or whatever, I am just here to enjoy every minute of this. I'm so excited. And like you said, yes, this is a great consolation prize. I also think it's a great consolation prize because, for example, we have tickets tonight too. I know a lot of people that only have tickets tonight too. Like, now it's like one of those things where, like, I bet there are a lot of people who are like, Rock's wrestling. I gotta get a ticket to night one too. So I think it is something where, like, I would almost argue that, like, yeah, you might, just throwing out big numbers. Let's say, like, you get 70,000 people for night two. Maybe you get 68 for night one. Maybe there's a 2,000 swing difference because people want to see, how the show ends. I don't know what the numbers are going to be like now. I think The Rock can make a good impact that way. I'm just here for the ride. I'm enjoying it. It's the most exciting time to be a WWE fan in a long time.
And I think we could both agree that the Bloodline Rock and Roman, they win night one. And Cody will have to overcome the odds night two. Yeah, I think that's where you get the turn, because even like Paul Heyman, like I said, the little things matter in Triple H's WWE. So Rock throws up the one, and then he slowly brings the thumb out. And Heyman, there's a shot of Heyman kind of like side-eyeing Rock, like, what's going on here? So I think even like Paulie is kind of getting skeptical at this point. And when it comes to these Roman Reigns matches, we know they're not always clinics, they're cinema. So I have no doubt the finish of last year's match will be a part of this year's match. But The Rock throwing up the one and doing the L with the thumb will be a part of the finish of this match.
I don't know, because I could see The Rock, like, that's why, like, that's why, like, I'm just here for the ride, because, yeah, could that happen? Could The Rock turn on Roman and help Cody win night one so he's got a fighting chance on night two? I don't know, but I mean that's already been going through my head. So that's why I'm just here for the ride. Like your case makes a good sense, but it makes sense, but at the same time, or I hate to think of this. What if the Rock turns on Roman, Cody pins him, night 2, you're like, okay, cool, everyone's not there. And what if Roman beats Cody by himself and then he keeps going, and that's how he gets to SummerSlam, breaks Hogan's reign. I could see that happening.
Yeah, true. I just when it comes to the WrestleMania, Royal Rumble winner, they have nothing to lose. So this is why I'm like 110% sure that the Bloodline wins Saturday night, because Cody has nothing to lose. He's still going to the world title match the next night.
Yeah.
But I'm here for the ride too. You know, I'm just going for the ride. I'm enjoying what's going on.
Cody's been pinned twice since being back in WWE. Do we see this being a third time? Do we see Seth getting pinned on Saturday and Sunday? I don't know. That's why, like, I could see all this. I could see this going so many different ways, and that is when it's the best.
Well, I'm gonna transition to that right now because Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre are going on night 2 for the world title. So I'm wearing this shirt. Also, well, I'm not sure if you guys see, but Survivor Series 97 t-shirt. Make sure to follow the Matt Madness Podcast Instagram page for the 30 Days of Wrestling Tees Challenge that I hope I can complete. But
tag me in if you need me for the
okay. But with this shirt, I'm not sure if Punk can do this, but the main event of this show was Taker and Brett with Shawn the referee. Shawn had to count for Brett. What if Punk can referee the match? And also, you know how I am with my conspiracy theories for the video game. It's sponsored by the video. They got to push this video game. In the video game, they're pushing the idea of like the new special referee match being back. Might be me doing too much thinking into it. But what if Punk's the referee and has to count McIntyre win the match? Perfect.
Perfect either way. Punk don't like either of those goofballs.
Exactly. But McIntyre's the one that's trolling him even harder now.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect that he have to count 3.
I agree with he posted that video where the fans were cheering for him out when he's leaving the arena, and he played Cult of Personality while they're chanting CM Punk at him. Hey, everyone's hitting on all new heights right now. It's everyone on that WWE roster. It's a special time.
Yeah, and a lot of intrigue too, because I want to talk about this right now because I talked about Sami Zayn a few weeks ago about him having those promos, talking about how he wants to go to WrestleMania. He has to find a way to WrestleMania. So there's a gauntlet match Monday Night on Raw to determine the number 1 contender for the IC title for Gunther. Sami Zayn will be a great opponent. Me and you also talked about Chad Gable, who's also like a dark horse to win that match, I think. What do you prefer, Sami Zayn or Chad Gable?
I feel dirty either way I answer this. I'll tell you what. From the last time we recorded, I was 100,000,000% like I only want Jey Uso winning the strap. Like I wanted him to be the one to end it. I forgot it was Ricochet who dropped the title to Gunther. I was thinking it was Sammy for a quick minute, and I was gonna say, wow, wouldn't that be wild if Sammy lost the belt and all this time later is the one to win it back? But then I just remembered, if you remember his early days in the Bloodline, I think he challenged Gunther for it. And I remember like Roman hyping him up, like, oh, I love that IC title. Yeah, bring that back to the Bloodline. I think due to, you really got to look at it like Sami Zayn has a little more popularity, and a little more is probably an understatement. He has a lot more popularity than Chad Gable. He is a former 3-time IC champ. I think I'd rather it be Chad. But I'm here for either one of those two winning this gauntlet and beating Gunther at Mania. I'm here for either one of them. I'm going to pop hugely for. My heart is telling me just because of involving his child, And the feeling I got during that match 4 months ago, like it feels like that match was yesterday. That's how good that Gable Gunther match was. So I gotta stick with that one.
Yeah, I'll take a triple threat. It won't be meat slapping around like last year with McIntyre and Sheamus, but I'll take a triple threat because I know Sami Zayn can snatch the believability out of us in that match because all Gunther's matches for that style have been excellent. You, as I said, you gave it up for the Miz in his match with Gunther, and the Gable match, fantastic. I know he could put on a fantastic match with Sami Zayn, but both of them I think will be amazing. But we'll have to wait and see. Go ahead.
It seems like with the gauntlet match we're not going to get this, but a lot of people were speculating that we were going to get like a multi-man match or like a ladder match. I'll tell you what, like I would be so much happier, and it seems like we're most likely going to get just Logan and Orton straight up. But I don't want Gunther dropping the title in a multi-man match. I guess as this coming out of my mouth, I could understand a triple threat and it being like if Gunther's going to move away from the IC title and move on to a world title, like that's how you keep him strong. But I just feel like if it's a ladder match where Gunther doesn't have the appearance where you think like this guy shouldn't even be in a ladder match, I don't like him losing the belt that way because yeah, the reign ends, but it's like whoever wins, you didn't beat him per se. You beat an allotment of people and got lucky.
Yeah, whoever wins that IC title, it has to be by pin on Gunther for it to be a big deal.
For sure.
And the other thing that I'm really enjoying, and I'm shocked at this, was Liv Morgan and this whole Becky Lynch thing.
Revenge
I think
story.
that they're like doing a really good job, like playing this off because Liv, like when she lost the Royal Rumble, like basically she's trying to get back her rear. The way she lost the Royal Rumble, it was like a fluke. Even the way she lost at Elimination Chamber was a fluke. And now she's basically trying to get back into that championship scene so that she cost Becky her match with Nia because Becky caused her match with Nia on Raw the previous week. So now we got the 1-1 match on Raw. I'm not sure where they're going here, but I do think they're doing a really good job with Liv Morgan here.
Yeah, I'm enjoying. I mean, and that I don't want to say undercard, but like that, like usually like the people chasing for the belt, they don't do a good job of making a story that way, and they're doing something they normally don't do right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. Like it's like if you go, I think Becky versus Rhea is the best match you should have because we have not gotten that on the main roster. We got the NXT, but Rhea wasn't on the level that she is now. So I'm not sure where you're going to end this with Becky and Liv, but I kind of deep down, I kind of want to Liv in this match because it makes a lot of sense. And for her, maybe she cost Becky the match at WrestleMania, but I kind of like this story they're doing with live. Yeah.
Got your mind in the gutter. Guy wants a 3-way dance bad.
And also, what are they doing with Jade?
I swear to God, same brain. I almost just asked you the same thing. I have no idea. I think the only thing that is really going to make sense if they're going to put her in some type of singles match, unless I see two things, and I don't necessarily love it. I see her somehow getting. She keeps popping up on SmackDown, and that's where Bianca is. So I see the two of them having a one-on-one match. Bianca's crazy over. She's got her show. She's on so many advertisements. She can have a one-on-one match without a belt, and it's going to get people's interest. Besides that, I hate to go so left field. She's either going to be facing Bianca and have a hell of a match, or she's going to win the Mae Young Battle Royal.
They haven't had that in years.
I'm just thinking they'd bring it back just to make her look strong.
No, she has to be on the card. She has to.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, it's the only other thing I can think of.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen like that WrestleMania card leak over the last.
Yeah, I try not to pay them too much time. Like right now, I'm not trying to pay that too much mind. I've seen them, but like I don't think I saw something with Jade.
They had her facing Nia, which I wouldn't be mad. They had her versus Nia.
Oh, I
and
bet you wouldn't be mad at that. You're not his biggest fan.
Craig wouldn't either. So
Craig really didn't like her. You had a little too much to drink.
I hadn't drunk yet. Maybe he had too much to drink.
Oh,
but,
he did. He definitely did.
Yeah, so I'm not. I wouldn't be mad at that because of the size, because Nia's size. So it kind of be like a showcase. Like they can make a big deal about Jade showing off her strength, like possibly like military pressing her or something like that, or slamming her. Like she slammed them. Like they make a big deal about like it's Andre.
3-minute spectacle.
The Bianca match. They talked the league card said her versus Tiffany. I don't think that's WrestleMania worthy, even though I love Tiffany. But Bianca versus Jade.
That's Mania. WrestleMania and SmackDown worthy.
Jade has to be on the card. She has to. But her versus Bianca, that's WrestleMania, possibly main event world title worthy. Not just.
Well,
that
could always be. She hasn't had a match in New York yet. That could be their first match, and then 3 years from now, they main event and show their ass.
Yeah, we'll see. But
she's got to get there.
We'll see. But I'm definitely like.
You're touting her for a main event in Mania. I didn't even know you liked her that much now.
Who? Jade?
Jade.
Well, I always said the presentation was always there. After that,
you can't find many posts of hers I didn't like.
Huh? Oh, I'm sure. I'm positive. I'm sure. Hold on. Donovan said something in the chat. Donovan says, "Put her, Mello, and someone else in the stable."
I could see it. They got some similar style as heels. I mean, that's later down the line for sure.
All right, yeah. So also we got the Hall of Fame inductees starting to get introduced. Paul Heyman, the headliner for WrestleMania Hall of Fame in Philly. Thoughts, and who do you think is going to induct them?
Well, if you didn't see, I don't think it was just a leak. Bull Nakano was also announced today, I believe, as the second inductee. I saw enough graphics that I think it was legit.
Oh, Bull Nakano, yes.
Yeah, so that was a little surprising. Cool. This Paul Heyman thing, I could do another 47 minutes just about this. I love Paul Heyman. I literally, what was the last time we had like a big show in Philly? Royal Rumble 2018. Like I was just like, man, I hope when he goes into the Hall of Fame, I hope that's here. And to see us 6 years later, that's happening. Awesome. Nobody, I can't really think somebody non in the ring. Nobody deserves it more than him. I'm looking forward to it. I hope like the guy could go Undertaker style and get an hour. It could be a whole show. But to get down to who I see inducting him, somebody from ECW really makes a lot of sense. I think it's just a little hard in a couple different ways when we think of the mainstays. I don't really know if I can see them having the Dudleys do it, just because him and Bubba Ray have a great relationship, but besides the Invasion storyline and I guess his feud with Undertaker, we didn't see that too much on WWE television. RVD, I think, is a little too much in bed with AEW to do it. Tommy Dreamer, Vince isn't there, but if Vince was there, he would say there's not enough name value. Like nobody's going to care. I think it's going to be one of two people, and I think the dark horse mention would be maybe Mick Foley, but I think it's going to either be Punk. Punk's not going to be performing. They have a great match. They have a great storyline, not a great match. I was going to say they have made great merch. You talk about the 30-day wrestling T-shirt challenge. I actually was thinking about it the other day when it was announced that Heyman was going in the Hall of Fame. As an adult, 9-10 years ago, my ex-girlfriend got me my first adult-sized wrestling T-shirt, and it was a black T-shirt. This is I'm a Paul Heyman guy. And then that started a slew of hundreds of more wrestling t-shirts, but my first adult-sized wrestling t-shirt was I'm a Paul Heyman guy. So obviously I'm sure that's what I'll be wearing Friday of WrestleMania weekend. Punk makes a lot of sense. If he's not going to be performing, again, they got vilified and almost blackballed, and Punk was hated for being so, by the bookers, for being such a Heyman guy, for Heyman loving him so much. Heyman pretty much left the company as Punk was on his early rise. And then when Brock went away, they got a line together and they made magic. The only other person I can think of that really makes sense would be Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I think there's a good shot. And I think if you just really look at it, he's been there with him, not the whole thing, but damn near the whole thing, from WCW to giving him the 4 months in ECW while he was rehabbing before signing with WWF. Commentated his main event match against The Rock on WrestleMania 17. Then he aligns with him during the Invasion storyline. And, we see, several different promos during Raw GM era and Ruthless Aggression era. They've been on a bunch of docuseries speaking about and for each other. Stone Cold can talk. He can speak. We obviously know Punk can do that. I know the elephant in the room is Brock Lesnar, but Brock's funny the little bit of time he gets a mic. But anybody clamoring, thinking that they want Brock Lesnar giving the speech, you must never watch the Hall of Fame, because Brock ain't going to do Heyman justice.
All right, so Donovan's in the chat. He said Dreamer will probably do it, but he says Stone Cold should induct him. So I didn't think about Dreamer because I was trying to think of like an ECW original. So Dreamer completely went over my head. But I was going to say Stone Cold. And my other dark horse was The Undertaker. Well, Mean Mark Callis. But I do like your idea of CM Punk, because CM Punk trolling Heyman when he saying congratulations was fucking perfect. Posting the picture of Michael Keaton killed me. I forgot the other one that he posted, but that took me out too. But I do like the idea of CM Punk inducting, because it kind of makes the most sense. He's always been known as a Paul Heyman guy, but Tommy Dreamer having the longevity with him, not the star power, but I think Tommy Dreamer will give a good heartfelt speech. I think Triple H would.
Yeah, so Triple H, I think, is so left field. If Heyman didn't have so many options, I think it would be Triple H. Tommy would definitely give a really good speech. Paul was like a father figure, an additional father figure for Tommy. But again, as good as, and I know there's a mild working relationship between TNA and WWE. Tommy's over there, all that. I just think when you have options like Austin, when you have options like Punk, especially Punk, where he's not thinking about challenging for the world title the next night, he doesn't got to wrestle the next night. Excuse me. Why would you not have him do it?
Yeah.
And you got to think about it when he was aligned with Paul before he turned on him. Punk's lying all the time. And when Punk was in the UFC, he always referred to Heyman as his best friend. Mm-hmm. It just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That really did pop me. But whoever they get, I think is going to give a great speech, and I have no doubt they'll knock it out the park.
They'll be crucified and vilified and ran off all social media worse than anyone in the Johnson family if they botch Heyman's speech.
Got anything else for me?
While we're wrapping up on the Hall of Fame, before we send it home, any other predictions or one name of somebody else you think and or want to go in this year?
I have no clue. I don't, because it's not like what it used to be. Like, they're not building this up for months at this point. It's pretty much
it's dropped on you last minute.
Yeah, which I don't mind. but it's pretty much a quick thing, and especially they do it right after SmackDown, so it's quick. So it's quick and easy. So I'm not sure. I would think they would kind of go like somewhat Philly heavy, but I have no idea at this point. Yeah, I don't have anybody.
So I'm gonna narrow mine down to one. I got someone who I think, and I got someone who I want. I'm not gonna go with we predict all the time, whether it be I don't know if he was inducted during the COVID era, but like Bam Bam, Lex Luger, who else was just interviewed that's not in there? But all these people that are not in the Hall of Fame that you would just think because of their contribution during the New Generation era or Attitude Era stuff. I think Tommy Dreamer doesn't induct Paul because he also gets inducted. And it would be one of those someone like, with all due respect to Bull Nakano, who isn't going to get a lot of time for her acceptance speech, and whoever inducts her isn't. Medusa's going to induct her. I can't believe Dave LaGreca said that Medusa should be someone inducting Paul. Medusa's going to be the one inducting Bull Nakano. She's going to give a 3-minute speech for her. Bull's going to give a 1-minute speech for herself or something. Dreamer would get maybe 5 minutes. And I could see Philly would make a lot of sense. Paul and Tommy, both New York guys, but they have deep roots in Philly. Philly's their second home. I almost feel like you need to give somebody else from ECW that rub that weekend. So that's my 2 cents for who else should or could or may go in.
Donovan says China by herself. I'm not against that. Don't think it'll happen, but I'm not against it. Not against it at all. Yeah, but even looking at my show, I have no idea at this point.
Well, before I send it off, I'll just, I guess, give my dark horse. It should also be David Arquette.
I'm not mad at that.
Good night, guys. Come see us next week. We'll be live reviewing Mercedes Moné's AEW debut.
I wish it was her WWE. I wish it was her
WWE return. Yeah, but
all right, guys. So
we'll see Friday when she turns up and helps Bailey. Swerve.
You know what? That be some shit. Because it's funny.
Pulls a Rick Rude.
It's funny because they uploaded Bianca versus Sasha on the WWE YouTube page. So it's like, what's that about? So that's interesting.
Paul always says, "Never say never."
Yeah, that'll be very. Oh my god, I would troll so hard. I don't troll often. I would troll so hard if she showed up to help Bailey, because we haven't talked about it, but Bailey needs some help now.
Who the hell else is going to do it?
So I guess
Ron
that's
Patrick
it.
Jr.
I guess that's it.
That's really the hang-up note.
Yeah. So subscribe on the all podcast platforms and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Rate, thumbs up, turn on your post notifications, comment, say anything. Tell Eric he looks like David Arquette.
Damn.
So for Aaron Loy, for Mr. Eric Act 2 Fly Eric Mickey, we will see you guys soon.